Welcome back, Israel, to your Caribou Data Science channel. Today is the Tuesday, April or October the 5th, 2021, and it's time for your daily COVID-19 analysis. Let's take a look at your numbers here. Well, good news. Good news, Israel. You had the second most views of any of the countries I tracked yesterday. 29 total views. 11 younger folks, 18 older folks. Thanks so much to each and every one of those views. I do appreciate it. Uh, have another favor to ask tonight, a little different one. If you look in the description below, you're going to see a link to my Twitter account. I would appreciate if you would click on that link and follow me on Twitter. Okay, I'm slowly getting the Twitter account ramped up, but I would really appreciate it. I got one follower. Who wants to be the second, third, fourth, fifth followers? Okay. Now let's take a look at your numbers. Okay. So let's just round us up to what? Israel up to 1.3 million cases, 78,000 deaths. Okay. But take a look here. And now, keep in mind, you have this. You did this aggressive vaccination program. I believe over 75% of your population has been fully vaccinated at this point. Okay. So then the question has to become, how come you have twice as many cases as you did in 2020 with all this high vaccination rates? Well, the answer is simple. The vaccine will not keep us from getting COVID-19. It may keep us from dying. It'll certainly reduces the chance that we'll die. But you know what? People are getting vaccinated and they're still dying. Even though that's not something the news media in America certainly wants to talk about. So the question is, how many of these people were vaccinated here? Okay. So look at this. Despite this high vaccination rate, your deaths are higher in 2021 and 2020. Of course, the question again, how many of these people were vaccinated here? Of course, we also have to look, when did these numbers actually occur in the course of the year, okay? So we come over here now, we take a look at the daily numbers. Uh, this spike here is fairly common, although some of them actually start in July. Since last July, you actually had basically three spikes. I'm not going to call them waves because I don't think they're severe enough. Three spikes, three speed bumps, okay? You had this long decline. You had this declining, increasing cases up here to 11,934 cases for a single. Then you had this long declining pattern and 2 or 3 months of almost zero activity as far as I mean, you had cases, for like a 2 or 3 month period in the summer in the low double digits. Okay, sometimes even less than that. But then, and then again, and in July, your cases started to climb again. They spiked on August the 8th at 22,291 cases. So, on October 3rd, that number fallen back down to 2,152 cases for a single day. Let's just zoom in here and take a little bit closer look at this numbers here. And you can see here that your average cases per day as of October 4th are 3,369 cases per day, okay? Now let's take a look at your deaths. Again, you had this spike here, a dip, and then up towards the end of the year, the final part of the year, and into the first of this year, you had an increase in deaths. And on January 27th, you had 92 deaths. But by May, that number had fallen back down to 2.5 deaths per day. But then again, it climbed back up here on September the 8th to 56 deaths per day. Okay, with an average number of deaths on October 3rd of 36 deaths per day. Now, if you take a look at your numbers here, you can see. So you can see here, this is why you've had so many cases in this year. You had the front half of this spike and the full spike here. So the question remains, how many of these people here were vaccinated? I mean, we can look and see when, right, your full vaccination rate crossed 50% maybe. But again, the good news is you've now had 4 weeks decline in cases. Okay. Now, what about deaths? Again, the good news is, again, your deaths, you have fewer deaths this year than last year, despite the fact you got these two spikes right here. Okay. And again, you can see this long declining pattern and this very low deaths per day average down here. Then it went up for 4 weeks, and now it's been going down for 5 weeks. Okay. So this is pretty good news, but of course the question is always the same. How many of these people here were vaccinated? You know, inquiring minds want to know. Someone needs to start asking that question, okay? Because the news media in America certainly isn't going to ask that question. So what this tells us is that September was the second most month so far for cases, and August was the third. What about deaths? Well, September again was the one, two, three, fourth most cases for deaths. All right. And August deaths followed close behind. Okay, Israel, that does conclude your report for tonight. Thanks so much for them views yesterday, and also thanks so much for clicking on that link to my Twitter account to the Twitter account in the thanks so much for the Twitter for clicking on that Twitter account. For clicking on that Twitter link in the description and follow me on Twitter tonight. Okay, thanks so much, Israel. We'll see you tomorrow with an updated report.